everybody flocking to the corner of 20th and Blake for Rockies baseball. Colorado back home to open up a weekend series against the slugging Brewers from Milwaukee. Hello, everybody. Jack Corrigan from 850 KOA Radio filling in this weekend for Drew Goodman. And the news when the team got to the ballpark today was not great. That pitch that hit Troy Tulowitzki on his left wrist, a chip fracture on that left wrist. He's going to be out for a period of time. Chris Nelson up from Colorado Springs. And as I welcome in George Frazier, George, baseball injuries, you just deal with them, and it's an opportunity for Chris Nelson.
Well, it is a great opportunity for Chris Nelson. The other thing I look at, Jack, it's maybe it'll spur on a little of these other guys that have faltered offensively, and maybe they'll kick it into another gear. It's particularly what somebody like Spielbergs has done in his last 5 ball games. It gives him a chance to play now.
Speaking of Ryan Spielbergs, the Rockies are in a situation now without Tulo in the middle of that order. They need a right-handed hitter.
Well, 4 home runs, 5 RBIs, 6 runs scored. He's made the plays in the outfield. He's played center field. He's a very valuable piece to this organization with Tulo's knee down, Gonzo's knee down. It obviously sets up the stage for Spilly to hit in a very vital part of this lineup, and I think he can handle that.
Carlos Gonzalez probably not available as well, so one of the things you're going to rely on is pitching tonight, and boy, the Rockies have had that in abundance of late. They'll turn to the lanky right-hander, Jason Hamill, to slow down the Brewers. We'll give you the pitching matchup when we return to Coors Field. The Rockies opening up a weekend series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Jack Corrigan along with George Frazier this weekend. And pitching is always the name of the game. Of course, no surprise with the guy sitting next to me in a pretty good matchup tonight.
It is a good matchup tonight. I think the left-hander for the Milwaukee Brewers needs to pitch a little bit better. He's going to strike out some people. He's got 45 and 42 innings right now. His record, 1-4. He's been in the bullpen. He's finally getting an opportunity to start again. See the numbers against Colorado last year at the end of the year. He did not pitch well here at Coors Field. Jason Hamill, on the other hand, has ran up a string of zeros. He has thrown the ball extremely well, particularly at Coors Field in his career. He's 7-4 the last start. Look what he did to the Blue Jays. 3 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts.
Not a bad way to go, and they'll need Hamill to continue that tonight. Let's find out from another member of our team tonight, Alana Rizzo, what she's got on tap. Alana?
All right, Jack, thanks very much. Coming up for me in the ballgame, Tracy's take, what Jim Tracy told me about how his team is going to deal with the hole that was left by Troy Tulowitzki's injury. And also Slump Buster, this one having to do with Jason Giambi, and it might not be what you guys think. Jack and George?
All right, Alana, thank you very much. The Rockies and the Milwaukee Brewers, a little bit of unfinished business after the way the season started in Milwaukee. We'll get it going when we come back. Quest high-speed internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. By E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. By the Ford Fusion. It's the 2010 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Ford Fusion. Drive one. And by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Back here at Coors Field, the Rockies happy to be back home, and George in a nice stretch of a lot of home games over the remaining time before the All-Star break.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Obviously, playing at home is much better than being out on the road for this ball club. A little bit of a sad note with Tulo's deal going on with him, but again, you got to pick it up. That's why you draft and develop, and hopefully Mr. Nelson will get an opportunity in a couple of days to take advantage of that.
Ricky Weeks will be leading things off again tonight for manager Ken Maka. The starting lineup's brought to you by Southwest. Corey Hart has been the big surprise. The Brewers tried to trade him all offseason. Leads the National League in home runs. Then it's perennial all-star in just a couple of seasons, Ryan Braun, followed by the cleanup hitter Prince Fielder. Casey McGee at third. Jonathan Lucroy, our first look at him. He'll do the catching for the injured Greg Zahn. Speedy Carlos Gomez and Alcides Escobar round out the lineup that'll face Jason Hamill.
The right-hander's going to take them out on a very good note. You see what he's done at Coors Field. He's been very good at home this year. 4-1, 335. He'll show you a fastball 89 to 94 miles an hour. Curve, slider, and the changeup. He'll mix all four for his success. His first 6 starts, the opposition hit 313 against him. What's he done in the last 4? 230. He has owned it.
And what do you think, George, and we'll set the defense in one moment, what do you think the reason for the change is?
I think more than anything is when he hit that speed bump, he's learned to get over it now. He hadn't hit and gone backwards. He's hit and gone forward and let his ball club give them that opportunity to win baseball games. And that's exactly what he's doing and putting the ball in play.
Jim Tracy is always a defense-first kind of manager. This is how they will align defensively. Smith, Spilborgh's Hop in the outfield. Stewart, Barmas, Herrera, and Helton third to first on the infield. And the other half of the battery, Miguel Olivo. And one of the things Jim Tracy always talks about, I give my starting pitcher the best chance to win by putting the best guys I can put out there defensively.
Well, you have to defensively, particularly with this rotation, because they put the ball in play. They put the ball on the ground. And so by doing that, you need your best defense out there. It's Jim's an old school type baseball man. He's going to go defense, pitching, and then we'll swing the bats.
Our first pitch this evening is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space and then your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and be entered to win a pizza party for 15. One weekly winner will be chosen. The Brewers, a slugging team. That's been their case for several years now. So as a rule, if you can keep the ball in the yard, you have a good shot at beating these guys. Ricky Weeks will start it off, second baseman. Stewart up a little bit at third, everybody else at normal depth. And that's the way you start the ball game off, with a strike down the middle.
94 miles an hour, too. Some authority with the pitch.
Weeks got off to a very hot start. He's been one of the Brewers hitters cooling off of late. And one of the things about this Milwaukee team all year long, they've really been kind of an all or nothing offense. Not just the home runs, but just, games with a lot of runs and other games when they can't rub two sticks together.
Yeah, it's been awful for their offense at times, and it seems now that their ball club's starting to hit the long ball again. But is it a Baltimore Oriole team, Jack, where you sit and wait for the 3-run home run all the time? Typically, that's what they've had to do.
2-1 the count on Weeks. And Hamill gives up a leadoff single as Weeks goes the opposite way. Who wants tacos? Well, fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, you can go to a participating Colorado Taco Bell location the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. and get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Leadoff man aboard for Corey Hart. We mentioned this was a guy who they tried desperately to trade. Where would they be offensively without his input this year?
Well, that's a ticket. How many guys hitting in a 2-hole for a ball club? 17 home runs, 47 RBIs. Tied with McGee as the lead, their leader as far as their ball club is concerned, with 47.
Weeks can run a little bit. 4 steals in 7 tries. And Hamill, who of course a lanky guy, takes a little bit of time to get it to the plate. George, does he really slide step at all, or is he?
Occasionally. I think if he feels like it's in a stealing situation, he'll do that. I think the one thing the Rockies pitchers allow them to stay and not alter their delivery is the success Olivo's had behind the plate. Throwing out 15 of 30 would be base stealers.
Good breaking ball for a strike to Hart.
I've always been an advocate of the fact, get the hitter at the plate. You don't have to worry about the base runner, because the minute you start to alter, you can see a breaking ball a little bit high in the 4th strike zone, but you had a strike. That once you alter the delivery to the plate, the ball is going to have a tendency to come up late and be up into the strike zone, and that's when you get hurt.
That pitch up a little bit, and the count evens at 1-1.
Yeah, part of the reason I think you'll see Milwaukee try to steal some bases, and they do have some speedsters. Braun has 11, hasn't been caught yet. The opposition 5 of 7 in stolen base opportunities against Hamel.
Elton holding Weeks on over there. And like he did to Weeks, Hamel falls behind, 2 balls and a strike. Let me ask you this, George, again. Obviously, the Rockies lose Tulowitzki. Period of time. No Carlos Gonzalez tonight. Does a pitcher maybe early on here try and do too much?
Well, they may. They may feel like that they've got to throw up a shutout to have an opportunity to win, and that's not something you must feel with this ball club. This ball club is still going to be fine. And nothing against Tulowitzki, obviously. An all-star, great player. And you'd love to have him in your lineup. But a year ago, the Rockies went 8-6 without Tulowitzki in the lineup. This year, they're 3-1. So sometimes you rally as a ball club, and it ignites your offense when you lose one of your top warriors.
2-2 the count on Hart. Leadoff man aboard, not going. And that's a foul ball. Just what George is talking about. Of course, the without was that long stretch in 2008 when Tulo missed nearly 2 months. And no question, as George said, I mean, this is a better team without an all-star player like Troy Tulowitzki. Nobody feels worse about it than Troy. And, you know, we wish Troy a speedy recovery. I'm sure he's probably at home watching tonight. And we'd like to have him at the ballpark as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'd love to see him out of shortstop still. I mean, that's the guy that made this motor run for so long and still will when he gets healthy. On a 4th strike zone, you'll see this curveball just spun to the inner half of the plate. Rizzo tried to get a call to strike. 77 miles an hour. Hart has struck out 47 times this year in 209 plate appearances. He's only walked 23 times.
That would tell you that Ricky Weeks might not go, but he does. And it's hit foul.
Time for some new lumber. Got a fastball in on the kitchen a little bit. It's slider, excuse me, at 85.
Veteran manager Kenny Vaca with a former manager Willie Randolph as his bench coach. Rick Peterson, who has very definite ideas on how a pitching staff should go. That's Eddie Cedar over at first base, and Brad Fisher, the veteran baseball man, in the third base coaching box. Runner goes again, and it's hit the left field, and that's going to drop for a hit. Weeks, however, will hold, even though Seth Smith had a little trouble picking up the baseball. Time for tonight's Radio Shack What Do You Know? Rockies have played very well in this ballpark against the Brewers, but they're facing a Milwaukee team that has played closer to the expectations of this club over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
They have. Well, the thing else, this ball club has played well on the road versus at home. They're 17-19 out on the road, at 11-19 when they're playing in their home ballpark.
Here's Ryan Braun. That foul ball caught a piece of Braun. Leading the All-Star voting once again.
But everything loads to that backside, and then as the hands come through, you're going to see that hard sink come inside. A lot of times when the ball's diving to the inner half of the plate, you'll see a lot of guys foul the ball off that front foot. That's why he wears the shin guard.
Big numbers again this year. Always seems to hit against the Rockies. 2 on, nobody out. Nice breaking ball again. He gets ahead for the first time, 0-2. First time, George, looked like he threw the curveball rather than the slider.
And he threw it for a strike. That was the key to it. He put a little more velocity to it, which tells you he had better pull on the front side. When he threw this pitch, he got out front and really snapped it off. So he had good downward plane with it at 78 miles an hour.
Braun asks for time for a moment.
Another one of those guys in the lineup typically will put the ball in play. He struck out 38 times in 260 plate appearances.
Broke broken bat. The only play is going to be to first, unfortunately. Hamill covering to get Braun. That's another busted weapon. So Hamill doing a good job jamming right-handers with the fastball, but just one out so far.
He's established the curveball early, so hitters are looking for the breaking ball after 2 straight. Then he gets a fastball in inside half. He's late as it ran in on the hands and just shatters this bat, but hit too slow for Helton to do anything at second. You get the out. That is at first base with Hamill. Well, when you look at their ball club, this is the one guy you say, man, he's going to have 48 to 50 RBIs, 60 RBIs at this time of the season. 26 RBIs for Prince Fielder. There's a reason for that. He's hit 156 with runners in scoring position.
Fouls it back to the screen, and it leads to the obvious question, George. There has been speculation since spring training about his contractual situation. He is tied to the Brewers through next year, but when teams feel like they can't sign a guy, they're already talking a year early.
A year early, talking about trades, how they could improve their ball club, improve their minor league system. When you trade a star player, typically you get a lot back. When you do something, does that have an effect on his performance? I know that in the newspapers, again, I'm quoting out of the papers, they're talking $15–20 million a year, and they want 5 to 7 years.
And can a market like Milwaukee handle that? That's the dilemma for Doug Melvin and the Brewers. 2 balls and a strike on Fielder. Pair of singles to start the ball game. Runners move up on the ground out.
Change up, outer half, trying to get him on the front foot. It is off the plate at 86.
Got ahead of Braun, but he's been behind the other 2, now 3 hitters. Boy, there's an example of why he's struggling. That ball was up around his shoulders.
Starting to force the issue a little bit, even at 93 miles an hour on a ball up into the zone. But if you look at him in his stance, see how he's a little bit of a squat to the zone. When he has that, you get a ball up, very difficult for him to catch up to. And this ball's out of the zone. Up, not outside the plate, but up in the zone.
Big moment right here for Jason Hamill if he can get Fielder and deal with McGee. To Prince's credit, there have been a couple of borderline pitches, and he has not chased them.
Yeah, he hasn't. He's been able to stay off of it. That last pitch on the outer half of the plate is also at 95, the hardest fastball thrown by Hamill so far in this game.
61 strikeouts, but he also leads the team with 46 walks. So while there will be occasions when he will expand the zone, you got to be a little tighter to that strike zone, like the second strike foul ball, to get him to go after it. Well, he's gone to 3-2, has Jason Hamill, on yet another hitter.
And the outfield's playing a little bit deeper than normal, and the reason behind that, if it's over their head, it's in the seats. Line drive right at them, they could pick it, maybe have a play on Hart at home plate.
Doesn't go after a breaking ball, and the bases are loaded.
Well, let's look at the Suzuki keys to this ball game. Picked a few out, Jack. I think you'll probably confer with me. The left-handed starters, the Rockies, 6-2 against them at home this year. And there's a lefty on the mound with Parra. The health issues, Tulowitzki, Gonzalez not into the lineup. How you handle that. And to play inning by inning. Well, the Rockies offense will throw up a 3-spot as it did yesterday, then a row of zeros, and then finally a couple of more. You get a chance to put the hammer on somebody, put it on them.
Casey McGee, the hitter. McGee tied for the team lead in RBIs, up there with the bases loaded. Ground ball would be ideal right now.
Big power to the opposite field. If you let him extend, he's going to drive the ball into right center more than he will pull the baseball.
That's why they go inside on that first pitch.
Don't let him get extended with his hands. And bases loaded, you can see what he's done in his career. A couple of grand slams, 29 RBIs.
What a
out
pickup.
of those 8 hits, that's a bunch of RBIs with only 8 hits and with the bases loaded.
What a pickup for the Brewers on waivers after the 08 season. Popped him up. And does Olivo have room? He does. Wow. That's a huge second out.
Well, the pitch count's getting extended, but the results are becoming pretty good. 22 pitches now for Hamill in the ball game. Trying to run that heat again, didn't catch up to it. Got a ball up. Olivo tracked the baseball. There's some wind here at the ballpark. Was able to keep it in play and be able to get the out.
Ricky Weeks at third. Corey Hart at second. Prince Fielder at first. And a youngster, Jonathan Lucroy, making his first appearance against the Rockies.
Well, how about this, Jack? First homegrown catcher that they've had in their organization get to the big leagues since Matheny in 1994.
He'll look at a good breaking ball for strike one. Yeah, that's a stretch. And Olivo again out to make certain on something with Hamill, and Clint Barmas is going to join in on the conversation.
Veteran team, you got a veteran hitting coach. More than likely, you're worried, and so is Jim Tracy. The concern of being able to pick pitches with Corey Hart out at second. So mix them up if you think they've got any inclination they're stealing location or pitch.
And we'll add one more element to what George was just talking about after this next pitch. Hit towards right field. Brad Hopp is going to get there. The Brewers leave them loaded. Rockies coming to bat in a scoreless first inning. "19 innings. Seth Smith will be in the leadoff spot tonight with the knee bruise for Carlos Gonzalez. Following Smitty, Todd Helton settling into that 2 spot, and Ryan Spilborghs will inherit the number 3 position in the lineup, at least until Gonzalez is back. Brad Hopp at cleanup. Mr. Home Cooking himself, Miguel Olivo, then Ian Stewart. Clint Barmas sitting 7th tonight. Johnny Herrera will be in the 8-hole ahead of Jason Hamill.
Well, the left-hander is going to take the mound against the Rockies. He struck out 18 in his last 11 and third innings, over covering 2 starts. You'll see a fastball 88-93. Curveball and changeup. He utilizes the changeup versus right-handers. So left-handers have destroyed him at a 400 clip. At 408, right-handers have hit 231 against him. Their starting staff has struggled this year. Jeff Suppan released, signed by St. Louis. Starters, 481 earned run average, 15th in the National League. Their bullpen, 15th in the National League with a 563 earned run average.
Well, as we get this lefty-lefty with Manny Parr and Seth Smith, you get poor old me asking the very obvious question.
Why?
Then, yeah, why?
Well, I just think his fastball's pretty true and straight, stays out over the plate. It doesn't have a lot of movement to it early. The development of a breaking ball later on, I think that's another thing that he's going to have to do.
Couple of fastballs to start it off with Smith. 1-1 on Seth.
Not only the 408 average, he's given up 5 home runs, 3 of those to left-handers. In the bullpen for the majority of the season. Now, his 2 starts have come against 2 pretty good ball clubs, the Texas Rangers and St. Louis Cardinals.
Good job of jamming Seth Smith there. Let's set the defense behind lefty Manny Parra. Braun, Gomez, Hart left to right in the outfield. McGee, Escobar, Weeks, and Fielder. That's pretty much the regular unit. And the young catcher, Lucroy, in there for Greg Zaun, who was done for the year. And, in fact, Zaun might be done, period.
Well, with his age and the factor of what he's had to deal with in baseball, that it'll be difficult to come back. Lucroy is another one of those young catchers that once he gets his feet wet, maybe works his way through this, but tough task, as you very well know, to have a rookie catcher handling your staff.
Todd Helton with the 1-0 count on him. George, this is what you were talking about, that lefty-righty split. So if he's doing better against the righties, is it because of his slider? Or
well, I think it is the slider, and I think his ability to work the ball down and away. For whatever reason, you can see that pitch to Helton on a left-handed, and again, too much of the plate. That's where guys take advantage of it. They see it cleanly coming out of the hand. I think that's part of the deception and what it needs to be. And on the Hyundai Cam, everybody wants to be a catcher till about right now. That was a square shot.
Oh, boy.
Typically, that's where your umpire, and today Mark Carlson behind the plate, will put a hand in the middle of the back and catch it.
3-1 on Todd. 9 for 29 for Helton. Just over 310 for Todd since moving into that number 2 spot, including a home run. Well, it seems like to this point, too, when he throws that fastball to the lefties, he's really trying to throw it on the inner third.
He is throwing it on the inner third. And again, as we talked about this a minute ago, I'm trying to watch him in warmups to see what he did with his breaking ball. They minimized his delivery now. As you can see, almost stands to a stretch position out of the windup. There's the breaking ball, a curveball picked by Fielder. He'll flip it over to Parra to get help for the second out. But it's not a high leg hit. It's not a big windup.
Here's the Colorado Lottery replay from yesterday's ball game. Ryan Spilborg went into territory not many go to. He hit a home run into the bullpen area in deep left center, and what a big home run that was for the Rockies in the win against the Twins yesterday afternoon. You can catch another great replay with the Colorado Lottery now through June 30th. Replay any of your non-winning lottery scratch tickets and a second chance drawing at coloradolottery.com. Spilly sends it a long way down the right side, but it'll slice back into the crowd.
Well, since June 5th, as you enter play today on June the 18th, who do you think's leading all the major leagues in average? You're right. Ryan Spilborg's 481 average. Kuzminoff, a Colorado kid, at 449.
That is just outside the bag. Ryan was telling Jerry Schemmel, my radio partner on the Rockies radio network, 850 KOA, the flagship, of course, and Ryan said it really wasn't the swing itself, it was where he was placing his hands and the bat.
Well, a lot of times you get yourself too deep on it. You get too far back away from your body. You don't catch up to the good fastball. If you watch where he puts his hands now, I mean, they're in a very good hitting position. It's kind of a slight squat, but you can see they don't deviate from where he is right there. So he's rest on the shoulder, then it's a matter of just pulling the trigger on the baseball when he gets into the zone.
He said he had gotten away from just what George was referencing there of dropping that bat onto his shoulder. He was holding them up and then started looping or straight arming the front arm.
Well, you work underneath the baseball when you do that. That's where you get a lot of the lazy fly balls. You're late on fastballs. I mentioned to him the other day, I know he hit the home run into left center, but for him, and when he's at his best, and I watched him for a long time, is when he's driving the ball into right center. Because he's got tremendous power here, gap power to the opposite field.
Trying to go that way. Count will hold at 2-2.
Even with 45 strikeouts in 42 and third innings, Parra's still not one of those guys that have a big swing and miss pitch. A lot of it comes off the fastball. If he develops that back foot slider, a very good curveball, this guy's kind of the limit. He won 11 games a year ago for the Brewers.
McGee boots it. It rolls into short left field, but Spilly will hold it first. The Brewers struggle with their defense. They have committed 44 errors on the year, only 6 more than the Rockies, but they don't have great range.
They don't have a lot of range. The middle of their lineup, the middle of their infield's committed 17. This McGee was 7 errors. Still waiting to see what they're going to award Mr. Spilborghs with.
It'll keep the inning going for the Rockies. I think you got to call that an error, but
well, I would. But
they're going to give him a base hit, so
base hit
Billy will take it. Yeah. Brad Hop drives it the opposite way. It goes into the corner. Brown picks it up. Spilborghs is going to be waved around. Relay throw from Escobar is not in time. The young catcher couldn't handle the throw, and Ryan Spilborghs puts the Rockies on top on the Brad Hop double.
Catcher's mistake, whether it be from the fear of the collision at the plate that was way out in front, so you take your target away from Escobar. Fastball away on a 4th strike. Someone's going to hit a shot it out into left field, left center field on the line. With a couple of outs, Spilborghs was out to the races. He actually hesitated at 3rd base. And when the throw comes into Escobar and all the way to home with McCoy, see how far off of the plate he was. And had to handle the baseball first before applying the tag. And Spilborghs went to the foul territory side and made it pretty easy.
First pitch swinging Olivo, hoping to bring the runner home, but Escobar throws him out to end the frame. But Brad Hop with a big 2-out hit gives the Rockies the early advantage. For tonight's Great Colorado Payback Sideline Report with Alana Rizzo.
All right, Jack, thanks very much. Earlier today, I talked to Jim Tracy about what he needs to do now with the void vacated by Troy Tulowitzki, who was taken out of the game yesterday late in the ballgame after being hit by a pitch and breaking his left hand. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. And Jim Tracy said, you know what, we would be absolutely foolish to think it's going to be one person, a Chris Nelson or a Clint Barmas or a Jonathan Herrera, that's going to step in and make the difference for this guy that is one of the hardest players to replace. He also said, you know what, it's going to take everybody. Some people are going to have to step up to make a difference. Collectively, we're going to have to do this. It's something that we're not strangers to. We've had to do it all year long. That's what makes us good, is the versatility and the next man in situation, guys.
All right, Alana, thank you very much. And the Rockies dispose of the speedy Carlos Gomez on one pitch for Jason Hamill. There is Chris Nelson. Got a quick peek at him in the dugout.
I'm surprised he's able to sit down.
He's a little bit excited.
As he should be.
Breaking ball for a strike to Alcides Escobar. Young shortstop. Escobar and Gomez, the two speed guys at the bottom of the order, started the year well, but they have had their difficulties offensively as the season has progressed.
Well, and Escobar is still in the top 10 among rookies in just about every category. Still there going along. Does that make it a weaker National League rookie crop, or is it, maybe he's just starting to level off where he's probably going to be?
Yeah, just 23 years of age, so they know they've got some time on the clock with that young man.
Something special. Good player.
Manny Parra, the pitcher, will bat now. The Brewers had the bases loaded with 1 out in the top of the first, and Jason Hamill extricated himself from the dilemma. They're now trying to make it a real fast second inning. Parra 1 for 9 as a hitter.
Anytime you have a long or high pitch count, 22 to get through the first inning, you've got to make up that distance somewhere in the next 3 or 4 innings in order to buy yourself time to get into the 7th inning. Pitch count doesn't run out on you. He's throwing 8 pitches here in the inning.
1-2 on Parra. A little bit of wind tonight, making the night very pleasant for the fans, but we'll see how it impacts on balls in flight as the night progresses. Well, this is what you don't want to do after you get ahead 2 strikes. Lose your command.
Lose command and not go right at the guy. You got Weeks in the on deck circle, but you have Parra. Why do you want to work that and flip that? You're going to have the top of the lineup there anyway. Pretty healthy swing for a guy that hasn't gotten a lot of success with the bat.
Well, he pitched very well tonight, but I think they can hold off on the statue at the Hall of Fame. Steven Strasburg is not going to go to 3-0. The White Sox and Nationals are tied in the 10th inning in Washington at 1. He pitched well, gave up just a home run.
Well, there's a lot of people trying to surround a hero in baseball, and he happens to be the guy. The build up to him coming to the big leagues, and hey, he's listened to the hype. He's written headlines, and now he's writing stories, and he is a special talent. But he is 2-0.
That's a solid hit for Parra. I mentioned he's just 1 for 9 on the year, but this is a guy who in his career has 9 doubles and a triple, so it's not like he can't swing the bat a little bit. 3rd hit for Milwaukee.
10 strikeouts in those 7 innings for Strasburg tonight. He gave up 4 hits. Did not walk a batter again.
Ricky Weeks singled to right field to start the ball game. Rockies have the advantage. Brewers trying to bounce back. They're not holding Parra on at first.
Well, this is a pitcher you can't get yourself upset because you've just given up that base hit with 2 outs to a pitcher. This is where you got to refocus and go at this hitter because you don't want to turn this into a 2-out big inning with the top of their lineup.
Gets ahead 2 strikes on Weeks. The interesting thing, 37 pitches in the game, a walk already, yet he's thrown a first pitch strike to 9 of the 10 hitters.
Well, only 11 balls thrown, too, out of those 37 pitches you're talking about.
Got him. Good breaking ball there by Jason Hamill. Brewers strand their 4th man. Rockies with the advantage. yesterday afternoon in Minneapolis. 8 innings, again, just 1 run allowed, and it was a marvel to watch him not get a lot of strikeouts, but still be in total command, George.
It was total command of it. I mean, this is, again, not a kid worried about strikeouts. He's worried about outs, and I think that's the key to it, pitching off the fastball.
13-1 now, and did you know, with our XL Energy fun fact, first guy in 24 years to win 13 of his first 14, and how about it's been almost 100 years in the National League? Not bad. And did you know you could sign up for an in-home energy audit and learn the simple ways to save around your house from XL Energy? Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more.
Well, the last pitcher to do it, Roger Clemens, in '86, went 13-0 with a .218 earned run average.
Ian Stewart will start off the Rockies second, and if you're into numbers, you like the Rockies taking the initial lead. They are 28-13 when they score first, and the Brewers are 9-32 when the opposition scores first. Ian will get a base hit to start the second inning for the Rockies.
The Rockies with 3 hits now, 2 of those against left-handers, Stewart and Hopp, with base hits.
And there is no question, and Don Baylor working tirelessly with Ian Stewart, they've got to get this guy going.
Well, going not only base hits, but the power side of things. Lifting the ball out of the ballpark and driving in runs. I think, for me, watching Ian Stewart perform, he's going to be a guy in 1 month, he's going to get 10 home runs and 30 RBIs. The next month, he only may get 5 or 6 RBIs and look absolutely horrible. Then the next month, he's going to do his 9 or 10 home runs and drive in 30. And at the end of the year, he's going to have 25 home runs and 80-something RBIs. Top shelf power. Tremendous third baseman.
Clint Barmes hitting in the 7th spot tonight. Time to go outside the box. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. You see what Barmy has done this year in interleague play, and I think just in general what he has done when there have been run-producing opportunities. That's why Jim Tracy didn't feel it was a problem to give Clint a little bigger offensive load during the absence of Troy Tulowitzki with the fractured wrist.
Well, I think, too, with Jonathan Herrera playing at second base right now, I mean, let's be realistic. Not a lot of power in the bat. He's not going to hit a lot of home runs. Clint does have that opportunity when you get guys in scoring position. Yeah, the big thing for me with Clint, he's kind of gone back to the basics from 3 or 4 years ago. Hands tight to the body. He's trying to take things to the right side until you come inside. When you come in, he has the ability to turn on the baseball. 10 for his last 28, hitting a .357 clip for Clint.
You see the issues with the sun over there at first base. Barmy hits this towards left field, but Braun is there. And Barmes is the first out. If you've been to Coors Field at all, you know from about 6:45 till 8:30, depending on what part of the summer it is, you face a challenge with that sun from the far corner of the ballpark, just focusing right on that first base bag.
That's why you see Prince Fielder's got the sunglasses on. Todd Helton had them on in the previous inning.
Larry Vanover, the umpire's got him on as Herrera bats. Jim Tracy wanted to give Chris Nelson, I love that, a little touch and feel for Chris and the coaches to get him acclimated. They're going to get him in sooner rather than later, but I think probably the way to go to let him just sort of get the ambiance tonight.
Well, plus he's trying to learn a new position at AAA. He's been at third, he's been at second, majority of the time at shortstop. But with Tulowitzki starting every day at shortstop position in the big leagues, I mean, hey, you got to look around. If I'm going to get to the big leagues with this organization, then I need to learn to play another position. But when he signed Matsui, Nelson shifted over to the shortstop position, been there for a while. But again, you've got to be able to. The game gets much quicker at every level you go to, and I think that one thing Jim Tracy prides himself on as a manager is not putting a player in a position of failure, but success.
2 balls and 2 strikes now on Herrera. The one thing that Chris Nelson certainly brings, it's why he was a #1 draft pick for the Rockies out of high school down in Georgia. He has tremendous bat speed.
Tremendous bat speed. He can drive the ball out of the ballpark. Got a plus arm. Was 96 on the mound out of high school. It's taken a little while for him to get there, and quite honestly, maybe he thought the game was going to be a lot easier than it was when he first started playing. And then he battled some injuries, the hamate bone injury. He's had other problems that have prevented him from performing every day. Now he's finally healthy and had a little different attitude in spring training this year.
Without question. A little more purpose in the stride of Chris Nelson this spring. Took a funny bounce off the mound and got right by Ricky Weeks. That'll put men on the corners. And then, boy, the focus right now for some of these Brewers infielders, surprising. That ball changed direction, hitting the right side of the mound, but didn't look to be that difficult of a play.
Well, I didn't think it did either. It just kind of spun to that side. I don't know why Weeks was making a move, because Stewart was not on the run at the time. They are going to give a base hit to Jonathan Herrera. Take him while you can get him.
Yes, indeed. That's the second kind of semi-infield hit, if you will. The Rockies will take them. It helps set up the run last inning when Spilborgh's got on base, when McGee couldn't handle the ball at third, and Ryan came home on the double by Brad Hopp. Squeezed, and it's gone. What a job done by Jason Hamill. How about the aggressiveness of Jim Tracy? The suicide squeeze, and caught everybody by surprise.
And it's got to work too. Tough pitch for Hamill to get down as a squeeze pitch too. You can see where this location of this pitch, down and in a little bit. He's got to step back, but all you're doing is trying to get it in play. And Stewart slides home safely with the second run.
Gets credited with a sacrifice bunt and a run batted in.
How about
and for
that?
Jason, his first of the season.
Start to take a few gambles when you get to lose one of your Warriors. They did that with Tulowitzki. To take it in the ultimate part of the surprise thing.
Plus, you move Herrera into scoring position for Seth Smith as he looks at a breaking ball for strike one. Seth flied out to Braun in left field his first time up. Well, George, in the keys to the game, talked about inning by inning.
Exactly. Inning by inning, keep the pressure applied, and that's exactly what the Rockies have done in these first 2 innings.
Build that picket fence. Take 8 one-run innings.
You bet. Jason Hamill will take him.
Oh, yes. Herrera ready to motor from second. And Seth Smith, well, he might not always be successful against lefties. I think of all the Rockies' left-handed hitters, does a better job of laying off that try and chase breaking ball.
Well, I think it's part of his positioning, the wide stance. There's not a lot of movement, not a lot of leg kick. The upper body's pretty quiet. He sees the pitch out of the hand.
Herrera breaks for third. It's a broken bat, blue. Weeks got it on the end of the glove to retire the side. A perfectly executed suicide squeeze by Jason Hamill and Ian Stewart, and the Rockies have a 2-0 lead. Game tonight. Would you throw it back? Well, I would never throw one back, but text Rocks 1 for yes, text Rocks 2 for no. Show this text at Brakes Plus in June and receive an oil change and filter, rotating balance tires and front wiper blades for just $50. Message and data rates may apply. Good luck to you.
It depends on what ballpark you're in, Jack. If you're in Wrigley Field and you don't throw it back and the opposition hit it, you're in trouble.
I know.
Because they're going to throw you back.
That's when, if you're going to sit in those bleachers, you bring an extra ball with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I talked about it the other night. Todd Helton, who's got as good a chance as anybody to get into the Hall of Fame, hits a home run in Minnesota, and they toss the ball back. 1-2, the count on Hart.
Hart, a little bit of a pull hitter, so what you're going to have is Barmes is going to cheat a little bit more over into the hole at shortstop than what you typically would see. Herrera's playing a little bit more up the middle, so now you pitch to that defense.
And got him. Back-to-back punch-outs on the curveball by Hamill to end the second and start the third.
Didn't have a very good curveball early in this game, but after he got that snap there way out front, he's created velocity and he's created sharpness to the pitch. Anytime you throw a curveball from the 77 to 82, 83 mile an hour range, it's a power curveball.
So when you're saying snap it, is it the arm action, the wrist action? What most of all?
More out front than anything is where he is out front with that pitch and following. The arm's very loose and relaxed, but that last 6 to 8 inches before release point, he is creating a lot of tight spin and rotation by the pull of the wrist and the hand and the fingers on the baseball.
Braun broke his bat in grounding out to Todd Helton in the first inning. Jason Hamill ahead again as we see where the Brewers stack up at this point in the season. And of course, they have been chasing not only the Cardinals but the Reds all season long in the Central. The Reds, the surprise team.
10 games under 500, yet just 8 games back. 8.5 games back in the standings. Interesting note about Braun. .216 average with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs in his home ballpark, but out on the road, .362.
Yeah, how about that?
7 and 33, which leads the National League for home average, home runs, and RBIs.
Barmes charging. Well, Braun can run. Todd couldn't see the ball. He was able to smother it, but Helton couldn't see the ball on the throw from Clint Barmes. He was just guessing.
And the infielders realize that. So you need to either get low and get under the sun or get high and try to flip it. And coming at it here, you're going to see Helton really fight this sun on the throw, and it's going to be down as he just turns his head, because there's been so many times Helton picks that like it's in the air the whole way on the Hyundai cam. You could see the ball bounce, but Helton never saw the baseball.
That's what he was looking at.
Not a pretty sight. Sunglasses don't really help you with that. Todd has the flip-up glasses, so he likes to see the ball off of the bat at him with them up, and then, of course, on the throws, put them down.
Prince Fielder, the hitter now. They'll charge an error to Barmes on the throw.
It's his 5th error of the year on Clint.
And he didn't really have much time. Braun runs very well for a big guy.
11 stolen bases. He hadn't been thrown out yet.
Fielder hits it towards Herrera. There's one. There's 2.
Turn that. You see where that started and where it ended. Holy mackerel.
That great throwing arm and transfer by Clint Barmes. The Rockies turn another double play, their 80th of the year. They lead by a pair here in Denver.
do with the defense, and it has made a big difference in this inning here. Look how far Jonathan Herrera had gone over with the pull position, and then the quick snap throw with some speed bearing down on him from Clint Farmas, who plays second base the majority of the time. Two shortstop arms wouldn't have, they wouldn't have been shortstop's arms. They wouldn't have turned that double play.
Rockies with the 2-0 advantage. You see the Rockies with 80 twin kills, and they've had a lot of those turned on the infield. That's the number for the opposition. They have grounded into 71 of those 80 double plays.
Well, they say, well, you got people on. This dribbler out in front. Carr's going to get it and get help at first on a difficult throw.
Going back to Clint Farmas for a moment, George, it surprised me a little bit, only because of who the speaker was. But when we were in Kansas City, Frank White told me that Clint Farmas turns a double play better than any second baseman he's seen,
including himself, that had 12 goal gloves.
Yeah, how about that? I told Clint he was floored.
Well, it's nice when you hear a peer or someone of the stature of a Frank White come out and say that about you as a player. I don't like all the different things being said about Ubaldo Jimenez now. Hey, the first 20,000 fans through the gates on June 22nd, that's coming up pretty quick here, will receive a Coca-Cola baseball cap. Boston Red Sox will be in town on June 22nd, so ColoradoRockies.com or go to 1-800-388-ROCK to pick up and buy some tickets.
0-2 to Spilborgs. Rockies making the most of their opportunities on plays not made defensively by Milwaukee on their infield, and then the Rockies have made some good plays on their part. And there's the first strikeout of the ball game for Parham. Let's get another replay brought to you by the Colorado Lottery, and it was in the first inning. Brad Hopp jumping on the initial pitch he saw from Manny Parra. Ryan Spilborgs legged it all the way around from first. Catch another great replay with the Colorado Lottery now through June 30th. Replay any of your non-winning Colorado Lottery scratch tickets and a second chance drawing at ColoradoLottery.com. 2 outs here in the Rockies' third, and the aforementioned Mr. Hopp at the plate. Well, a break for Parra there on the check swing, and the Rockies go down in order. We've played 3 here at the corner of 20th and Blake. The Rockies have the lead. Tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana Rizzo, what do you have for us, Alana?
Well, Jack, you had already mentioned that Greg Zahn had season-ending surgery, and he's probably no longer going to be a Brewer. A little bit more information about that. He had successful season-ending surgery to repair a torn labrum in his right shoulder. He had that surgery on Tuesday. It took place in Cincinnati, was performed by Reds team doctor Tim Kremchek. He did the same work on Zahn's elbow back in 2008. And the recovery time is about 6 months. So as you mentioned, his career is probably with the Brewers is probably over, and possibly his major league career as well. Of course, Greg Zahn, a little bit of time here with the Colorado Rockies back in 2003. Guys?
All right, thank you, Alana. Casey McGee, who fouled out with the bases loaded in the first inning. He's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. And on reflection, as you look at the numbers so far for Jason Hamill, upon reflection, they are going to take away the error charge to Clint Barmas.
Well, you know, I agree with that. I think it was a difficult play, more difficult for him than the other 2 that were given base hits. So you go down to make that argument. It's pretty easy to make it on the behalf of Clint.
The 2-1 pitch to McGee. Tough chance for Herrera now. Johnny settles under it. 1 gone in the 4th. The only problem that's a disappointment for George and me with the Brewers here this weekend is that Bob Uecker isn't with them, although Bob's feeling better and hopes to be back working after his heart surgery at the end of July. And I just love you could do a whole season with Uecker quotes.
He's just a wonderful man. And folks, let me tell you, yes, he's funny. He was funny on Johnny Carson and everybody. Here's a base hit to left field by the young catcher. And I know he made fun of his career. He did play in the big leagues, and he is a very, very good announcer.
Been doing it for a long time. He'll turn 75 this summer and says, I still feel good. I want to work it.
Absolutely.
One on, one out for the Brewers here in the 4th. Gomez grounded out to Ian Stewart, tries to bunt, and Todd's going to tag him out as he went up the line for the 2nd out of the inning, although it does move Lucroy into scoring position. But that was Gomez bunting for a hit. Bunted it to the wrong guy.
Absolutely he did. He went to the Gold Glover at first base. He bunted it hard, too close to the line. See how Hilton kind of bowed himself out into the infield and then comes over. Here's the problem you're going to have. The call is of the home plate umpire, and they're going to say Hilton missed it. But the home plate umpire, Mark Colson, has that call between first and home, and nobody ever called him anything, safe or out.
Jim Tracy out to argue with Larry Vanover. I mean, and
yeah, that's right. He needs to go down here and ask the home plate umpire. It's his call. Now he's going to go and ask Todd, did you get it?
You wonder if Mark Carlson just deferred to the more veteran umpire, even though it was his call.
Well, what I think he's going to say, I didn't see if he got him or not. And that's why I didn't make a call on the play. You know, all 4 umpires are going to huddle, but obviously the guy from first and the guy from third and second, difficult to be a part of that call. You're going to get an argument either way out of this deal. I can tell you right now, Jim Tracy's going to explode, or Ken Maka, either way.
You know, and that
Yep, Maka's going to come argue, and justifiably so. I mean, after a couple of them do, and they get together.
Eddie Cedar's there as well with Larry Vanover, but George, the umpire mechanics are until that play gets to the bag, whether it's a ball or the runner, and it looked like Todd just got him on the shoulder. That's the home plate umpire's call.
He did get it. Exactly right. It is the home plate umpire's call. He just never did make the call.
Now let me ask. I mean, he's out of the 45-foot box, but because of rounding, does he get more room?
Well, a lot of times umpires won't call it, and you're trying to avoid that move to get by the bag. A lot of times they won't call that. As you look up the line, see, he's going out to avoid the tag. You're looking at everything Vanover's looking at. He's got a perfect angle right here to make the call. But see, it is his umpire. It's this right here. It's the home plate umpire's job to make the call. See, Vanover's looking at him.
Kenny Maka's trying to get tossed, it sure looks like.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what he's trying to do. See, got what he wanted.
And that's what the fans wanted, too. They respond.
All right, a lot of umpires who sat and listened to it, and they understand the gripe. But now he's been tossed. Go ahead and get off the field. Jeff Nelson trying to calm him down and walk him to the dugout. Well, you know what? When that much of a delayed call, you can see why they get a little bit hot about it. Take the out and be done with it.
So Willie Randolph will take over the bench coach. It's interesting. Larry Vanover's the senior umpire by way of age, but Jeff Kellogg, the second base umpire, is the crew chief.
Well, a lot of times maybe the veteran umpire will defer because they don't want to handle all the paperwork.
Good point.
And that's like a veteran. A lot of the veterans guys aren't the team representative of the union.
Yep.
They give it to the young kids so he can handle all the paperwork.
So it's the second out. Now Escobar, he grounded out to third. He's been pretty good with 2 outs this year for the Brewers offensively. Willie?
He's familiar territory.
Oh, yeah. Managing the Mets. One of those guys that when he played with the Yankees, he always got the label of manager on the field. Like Troy Tulowitzki, just on top of everything and anything going on the field. Comebacker, not what Jason Hamill needed to do. Tried to barehand it, and Escobar will be aboard. I think in Jason's case, he was afraid the ball was going to get through the infield.
Well, it's a natural reaction. I know you get disappointed, but as a pitcher, when the ball's hit back up the middle, your natural reaction is to reach out and try to get it any way you can. Because with his delivery, he falls a little bit that first base side, but being 6'7" and a wingspan that he has, he just gave that outreached hand of trying to catch the baseball. Of course, you're always concerned and worried. You break a finger pretty easy doing this. On the Hyundai cam, you're going to see just gets right through the hand. So it's obviously hit pretty hard because when he hit, he tried to close it up and couldn't do it.
Well, the inning stays alive for Parra, who singled his first time up, trying to help himself down 2 runs. Now, the last time Parra batted, Hamill got ahead with 2 strikes, but then had the count even and then gave up a single to right center field to Parra. Lucroy at third, Escobar, who can run a little bit at first, and there he goes, and they're not going to throw, and he'll get his 5th stolen base.
Parra with a base hit in his first at bat. Jack mentioned that. Here's a big jump at first base. Make that 6 of 8 now. Would be base stealer successful against Jason Hamill.
Hamill needs to bear down here, get his opposite number. He gets ahead again. Parra, out of Northern California, was the Junior College Player of the Year at American River Junior College back in the 2002 season. He had been drafted the previous summer by the Brewers. Doesn't chase a high fastball. 2-2 again. He was a 26th round draft pick. Almost not quite those draft and follow types, but a guy that they drafted and let him play another year in JC ball and then signed him.
Well, he developed. They used the development of the JC basically. Was he ready to go pitch at the time when they drafted? No. So now you send him out and let him go out and play a year of junior college baseball. And he was pretty good at it.
Repair that chip in your windshield now. Call Safelight Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. And he has made Jason Hamill work. His base hit was a 2-2 count. He's worked it full here. Tying runs in scoring position with 2 outs. And he hits it towards left field. Seth Smith gets there. The Brewers have stranded 5. 2-0 Rockies. A 2-0 advantage. Time now for tonight's Cabot Woodstain's legendary performance. And on this date, Fisk, Bench, Carter, and Berra to honor Mike Piazza. Boy, how about that quartet?
But a few guys show up, didn't they?
Wow. Mike Piazza, an obvious
How can he not
Hall
be?
of Famer. Yeah, as soon as he's eligible, no question.
You know, when he retired, he just kind of disappeared from the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Didn't hear much out of Mike.
He's a very private person from what people tell me. I mean, when he would go away in the offseason, I mean, he went away. Miguel Olivo will lead it off for the Rockies in the bottom of the 4th. We're going to have Piazza coming up in 4 more years. In 5 years, junior Ken Griffey will be in there. Olivo grounded out to short his first time up.
Jumped on the very first pitch offered to him, too.
Well, this guy loved being in Denver.
You know, it just excited him, and I think the big thing about this being in Denver, you don't have, you know, you used to hear the catchers like a Piazza would say, man, I'd hate to catch 81 games in Denver. Because of the altitude, the length of the games, that just seem to wear down on their bodies. But with the humidor and better pitching, everybody wants to keep saying humidor, but it's better pitching and throwing strikes. Shorter, quicker games, quicker outs.
Corey Hart makes the play on Olivo for the first out. Oh, without question, George, over the last several seasons, the time of game average in this park is a lot lower than many ballparks.
It's baseball again.
Yep.
You know, I mean, when we first started broadcasting here in 1998 on a full-time basis, you would see games 22-18. You see games 16-14. A lot of home runs hit. Fans loved it. There's no question. Pitchers hated to come here. Pitchers want to come here now.
Ian Stewart singled and scored in the second inning, scored on a suicide squeeze bunt by Jason Hamill. I mean, it is still a good offensive park because it's a giant outfield.
It is that. If you can have the gap-to-gap power, you're going to have some fun with it in this ballpark. Great hitter's eye.
But the grass may be just a little thicker. Mark Razum and the grounds crew have done a spectacular job with this venue. It is as nice as any playing surface in the game.
Well, you just let it grow a little bit. Get a little bit thicker, get a little bit quicker. Now as a pitcher, you throw the hard sinkers, and you have that ability to get guys out. Makes things a little easier.
Yeah, it's real grass, not a pool table.
Yeah, oh man, there was a bunch of that before.
Just got a piece of that one. Two more with the Brewers this weekend, an off day Monday, and the Red Sox come to town. The Red Sox are trying to help the Rockies tonight. They are hosting the Dodgers at Fenway. And there's strikeout number 2 for Parra on a high fastball.
Hardest pitch for a left-hander to lay off of is the pitch up and away from him, because it looks so hittable to you, but it's very difficult to get on top of that pitch and do anything with it. If you do make contact, typically this ball is going to be a soft fly ball to left field. On the Hyundai Cam, see how you're underneath that baseball? You can't get to the top of it. And as an upright stance, even for Stewart to try to get to that pitch, you think you're right on it, but it gets on you much quicker. Well, a pretty quick inning for Parra. That's 2 in a row for him.
7 straight retired by Parra, but the Rockies still have the lead by 2. AT&T switched to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, a better 3G experience. Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. Dex One, marketing solutions, business results. And by Yokohama Tire, technology drives better tires. Top of the order in the top of the 5th, with the Rockies holding that 2-0 lead. And Weeks hits it to his opposite number, and Johnny Herrera takes care of business. 1 gone on 1 pitch.
Well, just extending that scoreless streak that Jason Hamill has been able to put up. They've had a couple of this year. Ubaldo has the longest at 33. And he, oh, by the way, has the second at 25 and a third. And then Hamill now 22 and a third. Frank Morales in 07. Denny Nagel in 2002 with 20.
Corey Hart has one of the 6 hits for the Brewers. Struck out his last time up and went too far with that swing. Boy, what a gorgeous night.
Man, is it beautiful what that sun starts to set. The mountains, the good crowd on hand on a Friday night to watch baseball.
Varmus, bare hand out of the backhand and got
it. Jim Tracy talks about it daily. And he said, I don't care if he drives it and run the rest of the year. He catches everything. And now he's moved him to shortstop to play defense, and a little backhand. It comes out of the glove perfect, and then right behind, fundamentally sound, strong throw. Watch how he stays right behind this ball. So you don't see a lot of tail, you don't see a lot of sink. He stays there, and it's on the line. There you see right here on the Honeycam. Watch now, you got to stay focused. That's exactly what Clint does. Look at his eyesight. Seeing the baseball right where he needs it. He knows he's going to have an opportunity with Hart running. He can still get him out at first base, and he does.
Boy, did you see that head drop? That was great. I mean, that head was right on the hand with the ball going into it.
Fun guy to watch play the game. High energy guy. I think he and Tulowitzki, when healthy, they feed off each other. You know what? They make so many spectacular double plays. You could make the highlight reel almost every night with those two guys turning double plays. Perowitz with Tulo around the bag when he catches it. Of course, he likes to show off that 100-mile-an-hour hose he's got. That even makes it more fun to watch. Not sure Helton appreciates it every night.
Yeah, need a little time with the right hand in an ice bucket, you know. 2-0 on Braun, and now 3-0. Well, I was privileged for a period of time in Cleveland to watch Omar Vizquel and Robbie Alomar, who are going to be Hall of Famers, and Troy and Clint, obviously a long way to go in their careers, but they're as good a combination since that point that I've seen.
Let's see, the one I go back to is Whitaker and Trammell, that was up the middle for the Detroit Tigers, and how quick they were and how good they were.
Yeah, they were less flashy. They were probably more like Tulo and Clint than...
More fundamentally sound, turning the double play ball, but it's just the exchange, the quickness of the hands from both of those guys. They could steal $10 and put 9 back in your wallet. You never know you've been hit.
Full count now on Braun as he took a fastball right down Broadway. Wow.
A little unusual because against the Rockies in 22 games, he's had great success. 354 average, 6 home runs, 20 RBIs.
And you saw the graphic there. That's what George pointed out earlier. Really good on the road.
You don't understand that. Milwaukee has a great hitter's eye in center field.
Yeah, that was the thing I was going to mention when he had the little infield hit last time up and never got to it. But, yeah, to have that much trouble at home is really surprising.
Well, the guy's hitting around him, Prince behind him, Hart in front of him. Jack Zurensik, who is the scouting general manager now of the Seattle Mariners, was the scouting director. And when Milwaukee picked, he had a pick between Braun, he had a pick between Tulowitzki. Well, both these guys turned out to be very good Major League Baseball players.
You got that right. Let's take a look at tonight's AT&T trivia question. Let's see how good you are. Corey Hart leads the senior circuit in home runs. Can you name the 4 Brewers who have led a league in home runs? And notice how it says a league, because the Brewers were an American League team until the '98 season. Think about that for a moment. Prince Fielder, a walk and a double play ground ball with 2 outs here in the 5th. And Braun, again, we saw his speed when he was able to beat out the infield hit. I think if you told people that the leading base stealer on the Brewers team is Ryan Braun, they'd think you were in the sun too long.
Yeah, they think Weeks would be that guy, but Braun runs extremely well.
11 for 11.
I'll get on the computer and send your favorite Rocky to this year's All-Star Game by voting at ColoradoRockies.com. The All-Star Game just right around the corner.
Rockies will head to the site of the All-Star Game on their next trip when they go to the Big A in Anaheim. I don't know if they still call it the Big A. It'll always be that way for me.
Me too. It's been revamped.
Yeah, I like the original one.
Yeah, I do too.
But they got back to it being better when the Rams played there and they built the upper deck all the way around. They ruined a great ballpark. Two balls and no strikes on Fielder. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks for Jason Hamill. He has not had a clean inning. He's had 2, including this inning, where he has retired the first 2 men and then gave up a base runner. Rockies have turned a double play behind him. Prince with a big hack there, 2-1.
changeup at 86 miles an hour. Not expecting that on a 2-0 count. All the pitches have been up and away. This pitch on the inner half, not particularly where Oliva wanted it. Seems set to the outside, but on the swing and miss. Might learn by mistakes at times, good and bad.
Just got back. If that throw was a little bit down, I think they had Braun because he was leaning.
For a big man, Hamill pretty quick with his feet on the pick. You could see the shuffle, and then they throw over high. Get that ball down knee high. You got a quick tag, a slap tag by help.
There he goes. Pitches a strike, and they got it! Right on the bag. Barmes with the tag. 16th time in 31 attempts. Miguel Olivo. Miggy time here in Denver. This date in history brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions, Business Results. Charlie Finley said, grow a little hair on your upper lip and you get into the ballpark for free. And his players got some money as well. Everybody but Vita. I don't know if Vita didn't think he could grow one or not.
Didn't have any hair in that upper lip.
With more, let's go back to Alana.
All right, guys, thanks very much. A bit of a backstory on that. Charlie O'Finley really didn't like the fact that Reggie Jackson showed up to spring training with facial hair. So he tried a bit of reverse psychology and encouraged some of his other players to do the same thing. Well, it backfired. They actually liked it. And then he ended up liking the look. So that's why he had the mustache day at the parking. The fans got in for free. And he just said that he would pay his players $300. Now, our own Jason Giambi also took part in this thing. Not, of course, in 1973, but back in July of 2008 with the New York Yankees. Now, the Giambino started this as kind of a slump buster for him, and then, of course, it caught on, and then people started growing the Jason Giambi mustache. And I think it would be a good look for you two to do it. George, we know, had a mustache. Jack, I think you should try it next.
The only problem with that, Alana, is I'd have to find a new place to live. Because my wife wouldn't let me in the house. She is a non-facial hair lady. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Jason Hamill got his first. I've thought about it, but no, I like living where I'm living. Hamill with his first RBI of the year on a terrific sacrifice bunt. The suicide squeeze, this replay of it brought to you by the Colorado Lottery.
The pitch is what got me, and his ability to be able to get this thing down, driving and cutting in on his knuckles, and he let it down.
You can catch another great replay with the Colorado Lottery through June 30th. Replay any of your non-winning Colorado Lottery scratch tickets and a second chance drawing at coloradolottery.com. 2-2 on Jason here. The RBI was just the second in his career. And how about this? Gomez with his speed can't get it. Hamill is going to get his third double of his career. Boy, he crushed that ball.
Yeah, it appeared to be a high fastball to him. Jason, a very tall guy, an upright stance at the plate. Got a high fastball from Parra, and you can see the boys, they're giving little knuckles out there for him on the double. Yeah, here's another shot at this. See that upright stance, 6'7". The ball's about belt high, maybe a little bit higher. So a contact, look at, he got a little toe tap. He got Tulowitzki toe tap working. Come on, Jace. And he just unloads on this thing. Big, long swing, strong swing. Out into center field. And Gomez is going, wait a minute, are you kidding me? Look at all the guys. High fives and knocks. Let's go.
Rockies looking to build their advantage. Seth Smith has flied to left and popped up to the second baseman.
You can tell when a ball club is winning baseball games and the attitude is right. When you do get a shot of a dugout and there's smiles and there's high fives and happy for another player's success. You're leading in the game. I know Jim Tracy promotes that team first attitude all the time. And I think that's something that you build off of from your manager to your players.
Two balls and no strikes on Seth Smith.
Well, a couple of areas you look at for me. I mean, you look down and in here. That's typically going to be the fastball. And then taking it on that outside corner with the breaking ball. Amika, it's not how you're covered. It's how you're treated.
And you're treating me very well,
Am
George.
I?
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, I don't want you to go away mad.
Jack Corrigan filling in
Yeah.
for Drew Goodman this weekend, coming over from 850 KOA Radio. Jerry Schemmel and Mike Rice handling things on the radio side this weekend. 2-1 now on Seth Smith. I always enjoy working with you, George, and Jeff Houston.
Vice versa, yeah. It's a lot of fun. Drew spending some time with his boys at some baseball tournament.
There's
Mike. There's the guys. That's right. You're supposed to wave. Good friends in the booth.
Smitty trying to drive home Hamill with the third run.
One team that he has struggled against, and I really don't know why, because they have the type of pitching that Smitty's normally successful against. But against Milwaukee in his career, 2 for 19. That's surprising.
Yeah, you always find there's some number that jumps out and you're scratching your head. And like we had talked earlier, I mean, Seth just doesn't chase the breaking ball. And what's he do there? He chases the breaking ball with the count in his favor. Boy, did a good job of just finding a little piece of lumber on that one. Repair that chip in your windshield now. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go online to safelight.com.
Well, looking at Smitty, see how this wide stance, I think this pays off for him, and then a little bit of a crouch down. He does a good job staying down in the crouch, so he sees the ball a little bit longer. He reduces the strike zone, and I think that helps him. Because now you shrink it down, it becomes smaller for the umpire to call strike zone. You get into that area where you can do your most damage with it.
You obviously pitched against Ricky Henderson, and Ricky would have that pronounced crouch.
You want to get him up out of the crouch, because if you can get them to, as the pitch is approaching the plate, you get them to rise up. What happens is they work under the ball. This back elbow, when he gets set in a position, I'll show you, if you can get him to work under the baseball by getting him up out of that crouch, you'll see the fly balls come up. You can see very relaxed with his timing. And that's what it's all about, getting timed for the pitch.
With that runner at second base, of course, the series of signs, and Luke Roy and Parra wanted to make certain they were on the same page.
Pitchers don't get enough credit for that. They're the ones that set the signs with the catcher. Am I going second side, third side, 2-5 rollover? We going off the scoreboard? What are we doing? They're pretty easy to pick that up. There's that side stance. See, look how quiet everything is. Bat gets real still when it comes to the plate. He's having a little difficulty maybe picking the ball up off the left-hander, spinning to break the ball at him. But you can see a little movement in that bat, and then all of a sudden everything gets real quiet. He loads to that back leg.
And with Parra's very compact delivery, you know, maybe a little bit of a short armor now, a little tougher to pick up for a lefty.
That's a lot of it. And if they keep it on the body line, folks, and what I mean when that hand comes out of the glove, if it stays behind the back, you don't see it creep out to the left or to the right, so they hide the ball long.
And got him. Just kept throwing that breaking ball and finally strikes out Smith for the second out.
Was not going to give him a pitch to hit.
Let's answer tonight's AT&T trivia question. The 4 Brewers to lead the league in home runs. Well, of course, Prince Fielder.
Is Gorman Thomas in this mix?
I would think Gorman Thomas.
Gorman.
And Benji Ogilvie along with the Boomer, George Scott. First 3 all in the American League. Just outside the bag for Todd Helton.
And trying to add on to this score now with the Rockies leading 2-0 as you creep along. And we said one of the keys, Suzuki keys in this ball game. If you get one in any, great, but keep adding on, because unfortunately with their ball club, one mistake with a guy on, you can be tied in a heartbeat. They hit home runs.
Todd's hit a couple of balls on the infield to the right side, trying to bring Hamill home. 2 strikes now. That foul ball get back into the crowd. Here's tonight's Quest high speed pitch. You see both guys can bring it up into the mid-90s.
They top out at 90, 95, but they pitch 91 to 93.
High speed pitch brought to you by Quest, the high speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Todd trying to be a 2-strike, 2-out producer here. Jason Hamill doubled with 1 out. Still out there at second. He tried to hump up on the fastball and muscled it over the head almost of Lucroy.
Let's see if Lucroy is starting to learn what a lot of these veteran catchers do at the big leagues, is that move with the pitch late. Give the sign, don't set up pre early, and then allow someone to give a location to Todd Helton. Tell you what, he blocks very well. They appear to go outside with the breaking ball. They do a little bit of a pitch away from him. Fastball at 94. Appeared to be a cutter or slider. Parr's one of those guys you just wonder why they don't win 15 games. He's got great stuff. He was 11-11 a year ago. Big, strong body kid.
And I think they've learned their lesson from the Jorge De La Rosa experiment. They're going to hang with this kid longer.
Yeah, don't give up on left-handers still in 95.
And the Brewers and Royals both did. Now 2-2 on Helton. Bullpen session number 2 for, batting practice session number 2 tomorrow for Jorge De La Rosa. And if he feels good, maybe they'll start thinking about rehab assignments.
Well, I think so. I think Buckholster snapped off some pretty good hooks. He'll be a part of that batting practice tomorrow also.
When a guy steps off like that, is he just not ready to pitch?
I think there's second guessing in your mind. You know, if you don't have your heart in that pitch and you're sitting there and you go, okay, you know what, I want to go breaking ball. I want to go down. I want to take it down and away. And the catcher's thinking, you know, if we go fastball away here, I know he can't. Well, if he's more comfortable spinning a ball away from that left-hander than he is making a mistake with the fastball, particularly when left-handers have done to him on the year, and if it's not in your heart, you're going to try to spin that thing away from him. And it may be fastball, but whatever the combination is, you want to make sure you've got the right opening.
They're going fastball, and Todd fought it off.
And sometimes catchers will come to the mound, and they'll tell you, I'm seeing him dive into the outside corner. So let's go fastball in with this pitch, make him aware, then we can go soft away.
Because I knew he wasn't stepping off to keep Jason Hamill from expanding his lead.
I don't think he was holding him close. Hamill, don't you steal third right now with the left.
And he got him with the breaking ball away to end the inning. We'll head to the 6th. Still 2-0 Rockies. 470, quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. 2 more with the Brewers. And then the big bad Red Sox come in for 3 next week before the Rockies head out to Anaheim to open up a road swing against the Angels and Padres beginning next Friday. Red Sox helped the Rockies tonight. They outslugged the Dodgers 10-6. Giants also lost, losing at Toronto. 3-2 was the final there on an Edwin Encarnacion home run in the 8th inning off Barry Zito.
For me, this is the turn inning. And the reason I say that is because you're working into the powers here of their bats. You've got Prince, then you got McGee. You just got to prevent that leadoff man from getting on base. And that's something that Hamill has done so far in this ball game, other than the first.
Fielder was at the plate when Ryan Braun was caught trying to steal for the first time this year. And that should get you your first out as the Rockies had the shift on, and shortstop Clint Barmas handles that play on the right side of the diamond.
5 out of the 6 now. He's gotten the first one out. That is a good job by Mr. Hamill. Well, they help plant some trees while enjoying a baseball game with $20 of green packs. That's right. It's coming up July 20th and July 4th, or excuse me, June 20th and July 4th. $5 goes to planting trees. ColoradoRockies.com.
Casey McGee 0 for 2, and that foul ball will not quite get to the upper deck. Almost got down to the lower deck before somebody in the club seats got a souvenir for a youngster.
And a lot of players start to heat up in the month of June. McGee has not. 9 of 56, 6 RBIs. He had some balls in that opening series, Jack, in the right center. Just tremendous power.
Yep. Well, the Brewers, as I said at the outset of the broadcast tonight, have been like the Rockies in that their offense has been in pieces. They haven't had one of those stretches where they've got 4 or 5 going at the same time. It's 1 or 2, once in a while 3, and that's kind of been the Rockies situation. The difference between the two clubs, the Rockies are getting much better pitching. The 1-2 to McGee.
It has not been an and/or deal. The Rockies bullpen has been outstanding. The other day that kept them in that ball game, had a chance to steal one, and that 2-1 loss to the Twins. The next day, of course, it was Ubaldo and Manny Corpus came on to finish up that.
Well, that's going to be a busted bat base hit. Hamill a little frustrated, but he threw a good pitch. McGee hit it right off the end of the bat and busted his bat, but it found an open space.
You know, I don't think, Jack, that it was on the inner half of the plate as much as it was away from him. And he was able to fight that thing off on the end of the bat. And we're going to take a look at this pitch delivered. See, they want that ball on that inner half. And see how the ball went away? Now look how far reached over that is. So when you miss a location, even though it's a pretty good pitch down, see it on the Hyundai cam, you still open yourself up to a guy that likes to extend his arms to be able to do some damage, even though light damage with the base hit to right.
Lucroy, a single in 2 tries, takes a breaking ball right there. Another first pitch strike. 18 of the 24 hitters seen by Hamill have seen a first pitch strike. Two walks, 2 strikeouts for Jason. Trying to maintain this 2-0 advantage. Just missed with that hook.
But learn something from that hook. I don't know if you, as a pitcher, folks, and you're watching, that you watch a batter to see what his reaction is to a pitch. So now watch Lucroy up the plate. Watch what he does when you throw this curve. See how quick he gave up on that ball out front? It tells you he's not seeing the rotation on your breaking ball or your slider. It goes to your advantage very quickly when you see that maybe just a dead red fastball hitter. Great hitters, though. And I mean great hitters. I mean, Todd Helton in his prime and guys of that nature, the Larry Walkers, would set pitchers up.
With the little bluff.
Yeah, they'll bluff and they go, hey, you didn't see the breaking ball. I'll go back there again. And he hits it out of the ballpark. That was a total mistake. And what I mean by that, a crisscross fire by Jason Hamill. because balls like that aren't going to get by Miguel Oliva.
Yeah, Miguel obviously looking for something else.
Absolutely he was. And see, he wants the ball up, but that ball sailed a good 1.5 foot, Jack, and then it went right off of the glove all the way to the back wall.
It moves McGee into scoring position. Counts 2-1 on Lucroy now. They charged Hamill with a wild pitch. And now a check swing. He was up again, but got the foul ball this time.
Trying to get him to chase up and mention that. You get it above the hands. That's the secret. You got to get it right into this area across that line. Very hard to catch up to. Well, you've gone hard in about 3 times. Is it time to go soft away? Meaning breaking ball or curve ball. Down and away. He's fooled by it. A little bit of happy feet in the plate. And there's that breaking ball. Stewart. Well, I tell you what. On the left side of that infield, where there's Tulowitzki, Stewart, Barma, Stewart, they cover a lot of ground and make a lot of plays.
Ian has developed that habit of balancing himself by going down on the spin.
Well, as he catches the ball, he puts the glove hand down and then pops right back up. And, of course, he has the arm strength and the ability to be able to make that throw quickly and accurately.
2 away. Now it's up to Hamill to get Gomez and strand another Brewer runner. Gomez is grounded to third and tried the bunt that created the controversy that tossed Kenny Maka from the ball game when he argued the call that Todd Helton did not tag Gomez. Initially that was the call and then overruled. Ducking was Gomez, but a strike called by Mark Carlson.
Breaking ball again. A little bit out of the zone. The first ball was a strike, not called. This one's high and it's called. Go figure. It's 1-1.
It all evens out, right?
Yeah, eventually it does, yeah.
2-1 on Gomez. A young man who's been a part of 2 trades already in a still very young career. Carlos just 24, traded from the Mets to Minnesota in the Santana deal, and then traded for shortstop J.J. Hardy last winter. That is a long way foul. 2-2. Rockies with a run in the first on a 2-out RBI double by Brad Hopp. And then in the second inning, a perfectly executed suicide squeeze by Jason Hamill scored Ian Stewart with the game's 2nd run. Hamill trying to put number 6 up on the board. And that should do it. Herrera just in time to get the speedy Gomez. 24 shutout innings in a row for Jason Hamill. Rockies still up 2. Light freeze can. Ryan Braun had not been thrown out on the bases this year, but nobody doing a better job of throwing out base stealers than Miguel Olivo. That was the Frost Brew Coors Light freeze can. Better than 50% on the year.
Yeah, how about that? You know, after a year ago. Wow, Jack.
We're on the Sea of Tranquility.
Did they move the game?
The Eagle has landed. Ryan Spilborg starts the Rockies' 6th inning. He has singled, scored the Rockies' first run, struck out against Parra last time up. Parra has fanned 4 in the first 5 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Ryan, playing in center field. Carlos Gonzalez has a contusion on his knee when he hit the ground hard in Minnesota late in the ball game yesterday. Rockies head trainer Keith Duggar told Jim Tracy, it might be a couple of days. He might be fine by tomorrow. Just a little bit of fluid in the knee.
Well, you got to get the ice on it, get the swelling down, and then really find out what you do have. But Ryan Spilborg, remember, just a year ago at the start of the season, was your starting center fielder. So it's a position that he could play along with the other 3. Interesting note. How about this on Spilling? 217 on June 4th. Horrible. Not playing very good baseball at all. Since that time, he's hit .483 with 4 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 doubles, a triple, and hitting .286 now. Things changed in a hurry.
Well,
for Mr. Spilborg.
You and I have said it many times, George. I mean, that's why I love this game. I mean, I love just about every sport, but I love this game because of its length and the process.
Chance to cover up a lot of mistakes and things turn out and change the mind frame of a lot of people.
I mean, you find out so many things about yourself in this game. Your ability to hang in there and the downsides and overcome obstacles. Right away when it's going well. Good pitch again by Parra. Looked like he threw him a changeup. Strikeout number 5. Time for the Gatorade replay. Just a reminder to vote for Colorado's top memorable moment that you'd like to see replayed during the postgame report. The Rockies postgame report this Sunday on FSN Rocky Mountain. Text your vote to 95323. Either the first home run in franchise history. Text play 1 for that EY senior homer. Here's a drive to right field by Brad. Brad's going to have his second double of the ball game. Thought about it and wisely stopped at second. So Brad Hopp with a double in the left field corner in the first inning, a double in the right field corner here in the 6th. 14 two-baggers on the year, George.
Yep, breaking ball. That's what he's gone to the left-handers, and that ball stayed on that inner half. It didn't get out to the outside corner, and Hopp made him pay for it. He stayed on that pitch extremely well and just jerked it down into the corner. Hart gives chase. And with 1 out, and here you are with RBI guys at the plate, and Olivo, and then, of course, Stewart right behind him. You need to get this run across and expand the lead.
Miguel is 0 for 2 tonight. A grounder to short and a fly ball to right. This is hit pretty well to center field, but Gomez covers a lot of ground. 2 gone. Boy, did he airmail that ball to second base.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks is saying, what are you doing, dude? Hold on a minute. I know you made it out the last time. You're a little frustrated, but come on now.
Don't forget, on our Gatorade replay, text play 2 to vote for Matt Holliday's game-winning slide into home in the 2007 play-in game. Message and data rates, of course, apply. So Olivo again went after the first pitch and hit it hard, but right at Gomez. So the Rockies need a 2-out hit from Ian Stewart. Ian 1 for 2 on the night. Blocked by Lucroy. New baseball for Parra. And we talked about it before. Ian, not only to have the overall numbers be strong, but especially here at home, he has not had the power at home yet, which is almost like Ryan Braun. It's hard to figure.
It is hard to figure because of this ballpark, and not so much the light air. It's the hitter's eye. This is a great hitter's eye for hitters to swing the bat at. And again, it may be the fact of who he's faced. You know, when you start to break things down, do they have the great breaking ball? Do they have the split? Who is it?
Good change of pace that time on a big curveball by Parra.
One more look. I mean, see, what's happened is he has established that curveball, Jack, and he's established it from about the about halfway through the fourth inning on. That's why you're seeing a lot of strikeouts.
Hung the one to Hop, and Brad doubled it. Well, that was one of those where almost sometimes it looks like Stu senses that the catcher is lined up away and gives up on that pitch inside.
I would agree with you. I think sometimes he does do that. Or it's a pitch maybe you're guessing into a situation of throwing you that breaking ball again versus throwing the fastball.
It's a good 2-out hitter, as that graphic showed you. Needs one here. Rockies certainly want to add as many as possible, but definitely another run or so, because as George said, with the power on this Brewers club, I mean, one base runner brings the potential tying run to the plate. Did he hold up? He did.
Well, you want to upgrade your game experience. I'm telling you what, it's the place to do it in the newly renovated Mountain Ranch Club. Oh, man, the open windows, nice night, good food, good baseball. What more could you want? 303 Rockies to make that reservation.
What you could want is an RBI hit right here. And it stays at 2-2 on Ian Stewart.
And you look at that as a hitting coach is a pretty good at bat, because he's able to foul off a pretty good fastball at 94 up in the zone. That time he got a breaking ball. Just hope he gets that one pitch he can drive to get this run across.
Up ready to rumble. Outfield shaded a little bit the opposite way. Gomez is over into left center. Big gap to right center field. George talked about it before. You pitch to your defense, but
that tells me you're setting up for fastball away. You're not setting up for a breaking ball. As we look for the pitches by inning so far from Manny Parra, you see that he's gotten pretty comfortable in the middle of this ball game. Extended into the fifth, worked his way out of it here in the sixth. 90 pitches total.
He has not walked a guy tonight, and that's a little uncharacteristic for him.
Well, maybe he's following into that pattern. Pretty good, doing some things with the baseball. Soft fly ball out to right to win the inning. To Hart.
So Parra strands another runner in scoring position. It remains 2-0 Rockies. by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Rockies got their first run on a 2-out RBI double by Brad Hop to score. Ryan Spilborghs Hop went to third on the throw, and then in the next inning, men on the corners, 1 out. Jason Hamill with the suicide squeeze bunt to score Ian Stewart. Well done on both accounts. Now Hamill trying to keep things going from the bump in the middle of the diamond as he faces the number 8 hitter Escobar, and we're going to get a pinch hitter for Parra, who is due to bat next. Escobar 1 for 2. Joey Inglet is in the on-deck circle as David Risky begins to throw. So a former Cleveland player will pinch hit, and a former Cleveland pitcher will come into the game for Milwaukee. Pitch outside. 2-1 on Escobar.
When I mentioned Hamill, 5 of the 6 innings, is retired the leadoff man. You need to continue that trend here and just shut down any offense that you can try to put together as a visiting manager, whether it be a hit and run, a bunt to get that 1 run across. As the innings start to narrow down towards the end of this ball game, managers will be less to bunt and sacrifice and play for 1 run as they will to try to create runs with hit and run. Willie Randolph, that type of a player, he's that same type of manager. He's not afraid to hit and run, move runners along, put people in motion.
Randolph, the bench coach, running the club. Kenny Maka tossed from the game. Pop up on the infield.
Outstanding. 6 of 7 now are going to be retired leadoff men. A lot of great things happening for Hamill tonight.
FSN Rocky Mountain is your home for exclusive Rockies coverage. Text FSN RM to 95323 to receive the latest Rockies updates to your phone. Remember, message and data rates may apply. So Joe Inglet, a utility player to the ultimate sense. He can play just about any spot on the diamond, even be an emergency catcher, hitting .354 on the year in limited duty.
He's one of those guys too. He can play hitter. He's 9 of 26 as a pinch hitter for their ball club.
Yeah, half of his at bats, more than half. He has batted 48 times. You know, Manny Parra pitched wonderfully well for the Brewers, but Inglet couldn't stop himself there, and he's in the hole 2 strikes. Parra, 2 runs on 6 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts in 6 innings. But Jason Hamill has been better.
Yeah, he has been. And again, I mean, the squeeze play, a run that gets across. It's again, Parra did a nice job throwing a baseball.
Got him. Boy, he went right back to the same pitch, and Inglet looked bad again.
And a lot of that is where the location of it and how it's set up coming out of the hand. Inglet fooled by it, and 2 times in a row. See, go right into it. So snap that thing off. Give it to me on the back foot. That's exactly where he put it. Got the punch out. So this ball's going to be a little bit in off of the plate, but you can see where he's standing on the plate. Very close, so he thinks he can get in on that ball and make a turn on it.
Strikeout number 3 for Hamill. 51 on the year, and the ball got loose. I'm not sure where it came from.
Oh, a couple of guys playing catch out in left field bleachers. The guy stood in front of the fence and said, if you hit me right in the chest, I'll give you 100, and he ducked and went out on the field. Now he's going home early.
Ricky Weeks 1 for 3. Brewers have out hit the Rockies 7-6. Oh, he tied him up nicely with a good fastball there. 102 pitches on the evening for Hamill. And 20 first pitch strikes to 28 guys. There's strike 2. You get that kind of ratio, you're giving yourself a chance.
You're getting yourself a huge chance. You're getting ahead, working ahead in the count. The 0-1 batting average below 200. The 1-0 batting average above 300. Work ahead and have fun. Hang up in there long enough, Spilly will be able to get there.
And he does to retire the side. Stretch time here in Denver. Another superb effort by Jason Hamill. The Rockies looking to build their lead. Of the 7th inning, let's take a look at our breaks plus poll on the night. Would you throw back a home run hit by an opposing hitter? And I like what you are saying, folks.
Absolutely.
No, a souvenir is a souvenir. I mean, how many times are you going to catch a home run? Who knows? It might be a Hall of Famer who hits it. George and I are right with you.
Ah, yeah, I love it.
Good job, folks. New pitcher for the Brewers is David Riskey.
Now the right-hander comes into the ball game after just coming off the disabled list. This right-hander, good arm. I think you remember him from Cleveland days and watching him throw the baseball. He's got a very explosive fastball at times. He's going to work both sides of the plate. He was reinstated on June the 8th. Coming back from Tommy John surgery very quickly. He came back in 12 months and 6 days.
Well, I know somebody coming back from Tommy John surgery even faster than that.
Yeah, made his first rehab start tonight.
We're talking about George's son Parker, pitching for the Dust Devils at Tri-Cities.
Made his first start tonight with Tri-Cities. The Dust Devils opened their season. Got a pretty good teammate down there. Mark Tracy, Jim's son, signed out of Duquesne University in the 22nd round, I believe. Was a first baseman catcher. Some players are down there. Casey Weathers is there. Hector Gomez is there. Josh Sullivan had a couple of surgeries. He's there.
Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs, you can do that for the Rockies Taco Special by texting the keyword taco to 95323. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Clint Barmas with the fly ball out. You were talking about David Riskey coming back from the Tommy John surgery. A series of injuries. David is a definite example of perseverance in this game.
It's a guy that likes to put the uniform on. And a lot of times, Jack, when things get taken away from you as a player for an extended period of time, regardless of what you have done as a player, you hate taking that uni off. So far tonight, Jonathan Herrera 1 for 2.
Herrera 1 for 2 on the night. Batting from the left side for the first time. Escobar calls off Braun. 2 gone. Both teams have had some opportunities. The Brewers have stranded 7. They've gone 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Rockies have stranded 4 and they're 0 for 6. But this guy, Jason Hamill, not only pitching great, but knocked in one of the runs with a sacrifice, a suicide squeeze, and then doubled off Manny Parra. And the Rockies bullpen is quiet with 104 pitches. Jim Tracy's going to start Hamill in the 8th.
Well, a lot of his level of kind of concern, I should say, starts typically at about the 110, 115 range is where Jim starts. If it's a struggle to get to where he is, and with the pitch count just a little over 100 for Jim Tracy, it hasn't been a struggle for him. 6 of 7, he's retired the first man. He's been able to cruise through some innings. Not many 3-ball counts.
1-1 to count on him.
Now the first 12,500. Doug, I haven't heard that number when you give it. 12,500 through the gates. You'll get. You had to be 21 though, so you don't get one. And over will receive a Coors Light cooler bag on June the 24th. So make sure if you're over 21 years old with the Boston Red Sox in town, the first 12,500 through the gates will receive one of those bags.
Risky is 1-2. Hamill hit it pretty well again. Hart is going to run out of room.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm ready
if
for it.
If you're going to throw a ball back on a home run, why don't you throw a foul ball back?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
What's the difference? Just because some people in the bleachers in Wrigley who may have enjoyed too many adult beverages thought it was the way to do it. Too many people in baseball doing it now.
This became kind of a tradition there at Wrigley Field, going back to the mid-'80s when they throw balls back as they started to draw.
Somebody told me there is a guy who has either gets them during batting practice or he goes out and buys them. Strike 3 called, but he sells balls to people going into the bleachers in left field just to be ready for that.
Oh, boy.
2-0 Rockies. We're heading to the 8th. The 16th Street Mall, 303-571-1114. Call and ask about their hometown sports package. Chase introducing the 1% mortgage cash back. Chase, what matters? The Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. And by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. Jason Hamill starts the 8th inning with Beimel and Betancourt beginning to loosen in the Rockies bullpen. It's another first pitch strike. Corey Hart a single in 3 tries.
Well, you've worked yourself into the success side of things. In other words, your 8th inning people you want.
It's time for the Home Depot doing more on defense. And watch this little razzle dazzle by Clint Barmas to take care of Corey Hart last time up.
Chris Warren does everything on the advancing as far as advanced scout of watching. So that's why when you see positioning of players, there was a meeting today at 1 o'clock with Jim Tracy and his staff. Chris Warren was there in that meeting. And they go over the positioning of where you're going to try to pitch guys, where you're going to make the pitch. Well, if you make the pitch, this is where we need to be defensively. And that's why you see Clint Varmus over in the hole a little bit at shortstop. Jonathan Rare up the middle on guys. The big swing with Prince, that's kind of a no-brainer. But a lot of the guys like Hart, you know, you position yourself there for success. And now if the pitcher executes the pitch, they don't have to make that difficult play. You make the play look pretty easy.
And Johnny Herrera is a guy who likes to play a little bit closer to the hole at second base because he feels he's stronger going to his right. But when you have a definite scouting plan, you go with that. And how about you get a punch out on the inside corner?
Yeah, no. Corey Hart sitting there thinking, you know, I'm 6'5". That pitch was down and in, but I think it was a pretty good pitch for Hamill. He's continued to pound the strike zones, continue to hit the target that Miguel Olivo is providing. That ball a little bit inside on your forward strike zone. We'll take the overhead look. Thank you, Mark Carlson. Take the punch out and move on.
4 punch outs for Jason Hamill. He's now tied Ubaldo Jimenez for the second longest scoreless streak in Rockies history. Of course, Ubaldo also has the longest one. Ryan Braun, a single and a walk, 1 for 2 officially. Lionel and Betancourt won't take long to be ready on a night like tonight, but they know they may not be needed with the way Hamill has been pitching. 1-1 now on Braun.
Operating with every pitch right now. Mainly the curveball has been the out pitch for him, but he's also ran the changeup and he's throwing the good hard fastball to both sides of the plate.
Varmus, but he's not going to make a throw.
Now, eat it. You got too much speed at the plate and run.
Stewart, had he been able to glove it, might have had a shot at Braun, but Clint doing the smart thing. Don't risk a wild throw.
Absolutely. This ball is going to ricochet a little bit off of the glove of Stewart. That allowed Varmus to get there. How about that concentration just to catch the baseball? Yep, Jim Tracy's got the matchup he wants. He's going to go down to the bullpen and give a shot to Mr. Beimel and have him come in and face Prince Fielder in this situation.
Great effort by Jason Hamill. The fans already reacting. They rise to their feet. And the ovation will grow louder as the big right-hander heads to the dugout. Well-deserved. Another terrific performance by Jason Hamill. He needs the bullpen to get him 5 more outs. Joe Beimel coming on. Rockies up 2. We'll be right back. Features the image of Ubaldo Jimenez. Stats from that historic game. Keepsake limited to 2,010 individually numbered bats. Sells for $99.95 plus shipping and handling. Call 866-280-BATS or see it on the web at BigTimeBats.com.
Or you can see it right here. You can see it right here too.
Take a little peek at it. Indeed.
Make it pretty easy. It's all right here. Great picks of Ubaldo. A couple of those with him making a pitch and then a stationary shot right here. and commemorative, first no-hitter in Rockies history, the whole deal. It's pretty neat. We got number 2, by the way. I just thought I'd let you know.
Well, good. Yeah.
Well, or 1.5, because I'm going to take. I want the top. If you want the bottom, it's okay.
Gee, thank you very much. Yeah, give me the bottom.
Right.
Thank you.
Drew keeps taking the top on me. See, I got to work it out here a little bit.
You know, Jason Hamill, 7 1/3. He leaves it up to the bullpen, starting with Joe Beimel facing the dangerous Prince Fielder. A walk, a double play, and a grounder to short. Rockies with a pretty decent shift on. And that foul ball knocked the mask off of, I don't know if it was Mark Carlson or Miguel. I think it was Miguel.
Yeah, I do too. Looks like fastball trying to crowd the hands a little bit. Going to ricochet off there. Got a double.
Got them both, yeah.
Yeah, we having fun right now. Wow, you saw earlier. Corey, their catcher got whacked pretty good.
Varmus shaded right behind second base there at his shortstop spot. He went, or it was a strike. Either way, it's an 0-2 count now on Fielder.
Now let's watch this pitch because of the deception of that big slider right on the outer half of the plate. 74 miles an hour, about 13 miles an hour less than that fastball. Beimel really slows the game down on the mound for his benefit.
Prince chased one. He wasn't going to do it a second time.
By the way, Hamill's ERA, May 21st, 7.52. Tonight, after tonight, 4.03. What a turnaround.
In line for his 5th win if the bullpen can hold the lead. The 1-2. You know, we talked about it earlier. Fielder will strike out. 61 strikeouts on the season. But he can work a pitcher. Leads the club with 47 walks. And when he gets to 2 strikes, he does not expand as much. His expansion comes early in the at-bat.
Mistake again. That ball was a little bit in. It almost looked like Miguel wanted that ball away to try to freeze him by taking it to the outside corner after placing the slider out there on the strike 2.
Outfield is straight away and very deep. Braun with the infield single, leads away from first. Braun was going back to the bag as that pitch came to the plate, and Prince Fielder might have his Sunday school teacher after him as he commented rather loudly about missing a hanging breaking ball.
Boy, he was not happy at all, was he? Look at this swing. There's the plant back. The hands are loaded, and then he took that big home run cut. Maybe been a few more people upset than just the Sunday school teacher.
Wow. Might have fooled everybody. Could have been low. It sure looked like it had the plate.
Well, as a pitcher, you go to yourself, how did you take this and how did you not call it? 72 mile an hour.
It evens the count now. Big moment in the game. We'll throw to first just to be safe. Braun has had a very short lead against Beimel. He's not been able to pick up the move very well, been going back to the bag.
And he should. He's in a 2-0 ball game. Home run hitter at the plate. You get picked off right now. It's a long walk back to the dugout. Morales, the other lefty, has joined Betancourt.
Now they missed location with that pitch inside. Hop up with the ball, fires it in. It'll be a double for Fielder. And the Brewers have the tying runs in scoring position with one out. Well, they didn't get the call on the curveball and didn't get the location on the next pitch.
Yeah, and again, it cost Joe because he had the punch out and had this situation handled well under control. But this time, a little flatter slider that stayed the inner half of the plate. And this time, Prince didn't miss this one. He pulled it down into the corner. And that's where Hop has to play it here. And, of course, Prince, the reaction of getting the base hit with men on base, you know, that's been a struggle a little bit for him. Jim Tracy, take Mr. Beimel out and get the matchup now going with Mr. Betancourt will come in to face McGee.
Still 2-0 Rockies.
Ryan Braun at third, Prince Fielder at second. Prince Fielder has played in 251 straight games. It's the longest active streak in the major leagues. In fact, he's second in franchise history to Robin Yount, who has 274 straight games. So if Prince Fielder does not remain at the Milwaukee Brewers, whoever does get this guy will know that they're getting a workhorse, guys.
All right, Alana, Rafael Betancourt now facing a tough situation with the tying runs in scoring position and only one out here in the eighth.
Now you see what right-handers have done. 263, one home run allowed. This is the area where you got to have the punch out. You got to go and be very aggressive. Fire right at your hitters and try to work ahead in the count and then make the pitch to get the strikeout.
It's Casey McGee, who had a broken bat single his last time up, 1 for 3 on the night.
He's 0 for 1, so a short career against Betancourt. Betancourt likes to work fastball away. Backed by a slider, hard slider down and away.
A pop-up on the infield. Did they get McGee to pop it up again? Yes, sir. He fouled out with the bases loaded in the first inning. That's out number 2.
And I mentioned 348 for McGee on the season, but he has struggled of late. 9 for 60 now here in June.
Well, and they are going to. Nope, I thought for a moment they were going to pinch hit for Lucroy. Of course, they have a short bench.
There's still a Craig Counsell there. You think, he's a veteran guy that can handle that situation pretty well. He's 6 for 20 on the season with 4 RBIs.
There's Craig, one-time Rocky briefly early in his career. Lucroy is 1 for 3 on the night. Rookie catcher. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 Rockies. A little tardy there. Ruffy got that one up to 95.
You get excited by the moment. You're feeling good. A little bit of that adrenaline kicks in for you.
Braun at third, Fielder at second. That fastball high, wide, or all of the above?
It's a little bit off of the plate where he likes to work, and that's to get the hitters to expand up into the zone. That's how you get that pop fly to first.
Betancourt goes at his pace as well. Long pause generally. Strike 2.
Yeah, he's not had much success. The COL we're talking about at the plate 0 for 5 with a couple of outs and runners in scoring position. He's yet to get a base hit. Threw that ball right by him. On the Honda cam, it's all about location and velocity. Four-seam fastball. Couldn't have painted it any better. Swung under the baseball and tardy.
Betancourt looking for the big pick-me-up for Jason Hamill. The 1-2. Got him! Betancourt does the job for Jason Hamill. To the bottom of the 8th. Still 2-0 Rockies. Rafi had the gas on that one. And Jason Hamill. Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Jason Hamill with 7 1/3 shutout innings, now 25 1/3 in his stretch of scoreless innings, tying Ubaldo Jimenez for the second longest in the history of the team. The Brewers have left 9 men on base, and 6 of those make it. Yes, 6 of those, 7 of those, as I count my numbers, in scoring position. Hamill also knocked in one of the runs. Overall, Milwaukee's 1 for 9 with men in scoring position, but the one hit only loaded the bases. It didn't bring home a run. Lefty Zach Braddock, our first look at this youngster. Lefty comes on here in the bottom of the 8th.
10th appearance for him, 8 1/3 innings. So you can see that a lot of times it's that left-handed specialty. He has the big strikeout, 12 strikeouts and just 3 walks. The fastball for Braddock on the season has gotten up to 94. He'll set 91, 92, a slider at 82, 86. Hard running. Very short slider. Not afraid to throw in on right-handed batters.
Seth Smith, a little off-balance swing. Escobar, the shortstop, will make the catch for the first out. Manny Corpus begins to throw in the Rockies bullpen. Rockies are 19-12 at home, and they have a chance to gain ground on everybody in the division. Todd Helton 0 for 3 on the night, 0-1 in this count. Arizona, Los Angeles, San Francisco, they've all lost. Baltimore has a 1-0 lead in the 6th inning at San Diego. Wow. All of a sudden the strike zone got bigger there, at least in Todd's mind. 2 strikes.
That's a big slurry breaking ball that apparently must have caught some part of the plate in the eyes of Mark Carlson.
And on 3 pitches, Todd has retired Braddock at 94 with the fastball. Here's the Coors Light cold hard blast, and it came in the 1st inning. Ryan Spilborgh's reaching on an infield hit, and Brad hopped the opposite way with the RBI double. Rockies would add a run in the 2nd inning. Brad would add a 2nd double on the night. He's in the on-deck circle, hoping that Spilborghs can get on. Braddock delivers strike 1 again with a fastball in the mid-90s. Hara worked 6 innings. Risky the 7th. Now Braddock here in the 8th. Little nubber towards Weeks. And will head to the 9th. Rockies need 3 in the 9th to knock off the Brewers. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on your car insurance. And by Colorado Hyundai. Get more style, more MPG, and more value at your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. 2-0 the Rockies with the lead going into the top of the 9th. And what's coming up after the game? Tom Helmer, tell us, please.
Jack, we're going to talk about Braun versus Braun. The arm of Miguel Olivo cutting down Ryan Braun. How that was instrumental in this ball game. Also, we're going to talk about main squeeze, the squeeze play that made it a 2-0 ball game. And hasta la Maca, baby. Ken Maca sent walk in this ball game. We'll break down that play as well. All coming up after the ball game. Jack?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Manny Corpus on, facing Carlos Gomez. He shows bunt. And it's ball 1. Our call to the bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST.
See the numbers on Manuel Corpus. 31st appearance for him. Outstanding coming out of the bullpen. Doesn't walk people. 23 strikeouts. That ball was low. 73% of the time he shuts down that offense. Start out innings. Hits just 23 in 37 innings. Hard sinker, good slider. Slider had become the out pitch.
Well, all of a sudden,
you can't let that affect you. Manny can't let that get into his head and take over his command, because as that ball's down there, that's 2 in a row that he's put right where he wanted to at 91 at the bottom end of the strike zone. He's 3-0.
With the speedy Gomez, and then Escobar to follow, and then a pinch hitter. That one's in. Manuel has really stepped forward as the season has progressed.
I think you'd see Jim Edmonds, wouldn't you? As a pinch hitter, him or Council. Council is 1 for 2. Edmonds 2 for 4. If they get there, which they will, third batter up there in the pitcher spot.
Well, Gomez not only thought it was ball 4, he, with a little bit of flair, flipped the bat away. Now that's 4 pitches in the strike zone on this at bat.
Yeah, just keep pounding the zone there. Even though it popped out of the glove, he didn't think it had a shot. Now you've worked it back to a 3-2 count. Go ahead and get the out of this deal.
Corpus works from the stretch. Barnes will have to hurry. No problem. Well, we talk about first pitch strikes, first out in innings. First outs by closers are ginormous.
Absolutely huge. Just because you create so many things for the opposing manager to do to get a game tied up. Council's the guy that has stepped out in the on-deck circle.
Well, that would change if Escobar gets on base, because then they'd look for the big knock, perhaps. Escobar 1 for 3 on the night against Jason Hamlin. Strike 1. Corpus trying to get his 9th save of the season. Rockies trying to get their 9th shutout of the season. Towards right center field. Spilly's going to get there. He might not have the speed of Carlos Gonzalez or Dexter Fowler, but as Jim Tracy said before the ball game, if he can touch it, he'll catch it.
Well, he's got the knowledge of this ballpark and the angles to take to get to baseballs, and he did a beautiful job on it there. Spilly got a good jump on it. And again, it's all about positioning in the outfield and pitching to that defense.
Up to pinch hitter Craig Counsell to keep it going for the Brewers. A .277 hitter on the year with a homer and 12 RBIs for the 39-year-old. He looks at strike 1.
Still a very valuable person to a ball club just because of his ability to swing that bat late in games.
Six for 20 as a pinch hitter for Counsell. Backdoor breaking ball didn't work that time for Manuel.
This crowd sensing the W and looking at Corpus on the mound. And as you start to come to that set position, that's when you start to see some hands get together and people cheering a little bit.
But Counsell will keep it going as he bloops it inside the left field line. Seth Smith hustled over, and Counsell will hold with a single. That's, as George said, why Craig Counsell at age 39 is still valuable, because as a pinch hitter he puts it in play.
Bad mistake pitch by Corpus. That ball's up in the strike zone, so you allow him to be able to extend and do what he needs, and that's to handle the bat. That's one thing that Counsell does very well.
Ricky Weeks, Brewers second baseman, singled in the first inning. He's 1 for 4 on the night. Corpus looking for that final out and gets strike 1 with a fastball. Outfield very deep. Spilborg shaded into right center.
People think that pitch is a strike because it squared the body of Olivo up, actually off of the plate, trying to induce a swing from Weeks.
Weeks did not chase. 1-1.
Make your pitch. He's got power. You got to be able to keep the ball down in the zone.
And he's down to his final strike as he challenged him with a fastball that was down.
Corpus, with that attitude that he had in 07 as far as pounding the strike zone, being aggressive, make them get after you because you're gonna challenge the hitter.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Counsell at first. 2 outs in the 9th. Corpus fires. Just got a piece of it. Boy, he took a late swing at a slider.
Yes, he did. That was a very good pitch at 83 miles an hour to the outer half of the plate. Try to live out there, minimize it because of the positioning. It's down. You see how Weeks had to go to get contact. You're taking away their strength. And they're allowed to use that back leg drive, and it's all a hand swing.
32,000 plus. Just about all of them on their feet. Corpus is ready. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. That's the ball game. Manuel Corpus seals the 9th shutout of the season for the Rockies. That is the club record, and it is June 18th. Great starting pitching, great work out of the bullpen.